So hi everyone, Anthony Taylor here from SME Strategy. I hope you're having a great day so far. I came across this really interesting article from the World Economic Forum called The State of the World in 2016 in Charts. So this came out like last week, so early 2017, and I just wanted to run through some of the stuff with you because I thought it was very interesting from just a world economic perspective, but also a strategic planning perspective and scenario planning perspective. So I'm going to go through it in order, and then you can find the link to the article in the description right here. So this is basically a few charts that the World Economic Forum has said this is what's happening in the world. So first, we're going to start with the top 10 economies that are enabling trade. For me, nothing was terribly surprising in here. Singapore being number one, Netherlands number two, and then Hong Kong, and then the rest, mostly European countries. I actually worked for the Belgian government for 2 years here in Canada, and really Europe is a really great place to do global trade by nature of the EU, of course, and then just the way the borders are. So if you're trying to develop your business internationally, this is one of the spots that you can do it, or 10 of the top spots where you can do international trade. And of course, for more information, go check out what the links individual mean and how they create the rankings. Next one I found was interesting was talking about the gender gap. So they say that it's actually going to take 80 more years for the gender gap to close, and unfortunately we've actually gone backwards in the past few years as far as gender gap. So you'll notice here that the top 4 countries are Nordic countries, and my reasoning for that is basically if everybody had to work on the farm, everybody was equal, and so they just continued that, and they're generally more empowered to do things all in all, and the governments are more like laissez-faire, plus there's a whole other whack of socio-economic policies that they have in Nordic countries that probably affects this and move this along. And then there's actually a few countries in here that surprised me. So for example, Nicaragua, New Zealand, Rwanda, and Ireland. So again, if you want more information on the gender gap and why it is the way it is now, you can check out what they have there. This was interesting about the average working day for a man or a woman. So the average working day for a man is just under 8 hours, whereas the average working day for a woman is just over 8 hours, almost 9 hours. And then in a week, men do an hour and a half of unpaid work, and women do almost 5 hours of unpaid work. So the gender gap probably has something to do with that, where women have to work harder to show the same or equivalent work or to move forward, and guys probably have it a lot easier in the workforce as well to get their point across and do things that have impact. So I hope personally that gets more equal in the coming years, and we'll see. And so it's up to us and everybody to be able to make that happen. So this is global competitiveness as far as the economy goes. So I'll let you talk about that. And obviously, if you're in North America, the big one being United States. And then, of course, many of these same countries that we found on the Global Trade Index are up here as well. So here is where I find that is the most interesting from a strategy perspective. Moving forward, as we're looking at trends and opportunities in the economy, it's where are people ranking and where are they moving. So this is out of 138 economies here. Where are they moving up? So India, a rapidly changing and developing economy. Albania, still low relatively on the world scale, but jumped up 13 spots. Jamaica, Bhutan, Malta. So places where labor is inexpensive, so you can still create opportunities there. And then Mexico. I think Mexico is going to be a really interesting one. And actually, surprisingly on this list, Malta and Panama being 40 and 42, which is relatively high on the list considering that India is at 39 for a country of a billion people. So now here are 2 more charts. This is the 4th industrial revolution. So me as a consulting company and us as a consulting company, we're very excited for this. So this basically shows, the utilization of human capital across the world. So you'll see mostly in Europe here, they're at high utilization, Africa, high utilization, Canada, high utilization, but then there's still a lot of countries underutilized, the US, Russia, over here, obviously, and then Africa, Mexico, largely underutilized. And that's because the people in those countries just don't have the skills or the resources to be able to take that next step to level up. So what does that mean from an opportunities perspective? it's, because of this great leveling with the internet and the access to information, tools, and training and what have you, that these countries, in my opinion, are poised for growth if the governments and the organizations that support technological growth in those countries make the appropriate investments to move them forward. So, and on that note, I don't know if you can read this. This is basically the net employment outlook by job family for between 2015 and 2020. So office administration, manufacturing and production, construction and extraction are like going way down. So what does that effect have on your organization and your company and whatever products you're offering? Again, with technological advances, automation, and so on, these office administrative, manufacturing, production, they're getting more efficient, and it means that they require less people to do it. So what is requiring more people to do? Business and financial operations. Again, how do you get more out of what you're doing? Management, computer, mathematical, and then architectural and engineering. And it's, again, doing more with less. And if you remember, from the industrial agrarian revolution, really taking large crop or smaller crops, putting them all together, making them more effective. And really, that's just what's happening. Everything around is getting smaller. Companies are merging, and it's becoming more and more effective by necessity. So, how can you take advantage of that as an organization and as a company? And finally, now this is when we talk about at SME Strategy, we talk a lot about scenario planning and how important it is to be able to predict the future, or at least anticipate the risks that are coming in the future. So the global risks of highest concern, according to the World Economic Forum. So large scale involuntary migration, and that's going to be huge. We've seen, travel restrictions happening around the country, and refugees from other countries, both in Europe and North America and all over the world. So what effect is that going to have on the global scale, the taxes, the economy, and what have you? State collapse or crisis, again, so a lot of uncertainty still there. Interstate conflict, so more war, which unemployment or underemployment, so very likely to have happen. And then failure of national governance. So this is, again, a lot of uncertainty on the global markets, seeing what's going to happen from a governance perspective for the next 10 years. And now this is big for a lot of manufacturing or anybody that uses natural resources. Water crisis, climate change, extreme weather event, food, and social instability. So from opportunity side, how can your organization, or if you don't even have a company right now, how can you take advantage of these trends and really solve the problems? Because the businesses that have been most successful in the past are the ones that found the best solutions to the world's most pressing problems. So, it's very clear that water and climate and weather, there's a lot of uncertainty there. I don't know if we're past the point of no return personally, but one can hope. So I'll definitely put the link inside the description, so be sure to check it out, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube for more videos like this, video blogs about the state of the world and how it affects your strategy as an organization, as a company. So thanks so much for watching. It's Anthony Taylor with SME Strategy, and I look forward to sharing with you next time.